Hey, what's up? Peace and blessings. This is Jovhannah from Spiritual Love Tarot. You may also know me as the Spiritual Love Healer over on Instagram. And this is long overdue where I share my love for the new chapter tarot. Oh, this deck is beautiful. So, oops, are we good here? We're good. Hey, what's up? Peace and blessings. I'm Jovhannah, the Spiritual Love Healer. Thank you for tuning in to Spiritual Love Tarot. Today we are going to be taking a look at New Chapter Tarot, created by Catherine Briggs and published through Liminal 11. This deck is really beautiful. I have sat down and gone through the artwork of this particular deck once I got it. So I want to share it with you. The only thing that I noticed, the size of the cards is a little different. They're smaller, but the artwork on them is really, really beautiful. I was playing with the magician, so that's why he was out there first. So it comes with a nice guidebook, and I like this deck because it talks about the journey of how Catherine came to create the deck. And reading that, I thought that the cards were going to reflect that, but they don't necessarily reflect that. But the artwork is just really, really beautiful and provocative and thought-provoking and intuition inspiring. So I believe, yeah, in her deck, she did change out I think the knights are women and the pages or princesses are men. Or something like that. So it kind of allows for gender fluidity in this deck. Were there extra cards? Let me see. I think there were 2 extra cards in this deck. They have some really awesome spreads in the back of the book. One that I cannot wait to try is the Hecate at the Crossroads. And then there's this beautiful balanced life spread. I love when they include custom spreads for their deck. And then Crossing the Threshold. So yeah, there are lots of really nice spreads in here. Let's go ahead and look at the cards. I love, 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 love the artwork. So here we have the Fool. And I love how there's the young person and this person looks a little more mature. It just shows growth, and then you can see the symbols in the corners. You've got the wand, the sword, the cup, the disc. I think, are they discs in this deck? Yeah, they're discs. So it does have some thoth elements and feel to it, but it's just in a very inviting and less intimidating way. So there is the Magician card. I love that purple background. Let me put these over here. Oh, this is the back of the deck. So then we have the High Priestess. It's like a maiden, mother, crone energy going on in this card. And the Empress, if you can look at her, she is an older woman, which I thought was really beautiful. Because you can be an Empress at any age and carry your abundance and creativity and vitality with you. And here is the Emperor, older and wiser. I love, love, love that the Hierophant is shown as the teacher. I think the Mermaid Tarot in that deck talks about the Hierophant is also writing in a book. And that was when I could really connect with the card and truly understand its meaning outside of, religious structure and organization, and really got to the understanding of the card once I found a Hierophant card that I really liked. So I love seeing that energy show up as the teacher. And as we all know, this is the year of the Hierophant. So I know I have been learning some major lessons. So it's been very interesting so far. Okay, and here we have the Lover's card, and this shows a little bit of everything. You have animals, you have birds, looks like some plants up there, and then there are the different elements or the different suits of the tarot as well, and everything is connected, which I think is just a very beautiful interpretation of love and showing alignment of all of these different energies. And there we have the Chariot. Justice, which is always one of my favorite cards. This card is very like, I remember like looking at it and trying to figure out what was happening. Are they in a cloak? Are they coming through something? Just so much going on here, but I really like it. It's different from other Justice cards. And there's the Hermit. And it's like, you can't tell, like, is that a man or is that the mountain? Or is the mountain and the man the same? And here is the Wheel of Fortune. And I love the figure that's kind of at the mercy of the wheel. Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective as well. For me, when I see the Wheel of Fortune, it's usually like, you know, either you roll with it or you get rolled over or you get off. It's not the, usually for me, it doesn't show up as like luck or fortune. It's usually like something's going down. And so here we have the Strength card. So this is showing up as card 11, where it's in other decks would show up as the 8th card. Yeah, because Justice was first. So this was put back, I think, and that was the original way that it was, and then somewhere along the line it got those two got shuffled around. I was looking to see, it's almost like there's like a snake behind her, and then she has her wings, and then there's the lion. And this is the Hanged Man. I love the background on this card. And then there's Death. And then there's Temperance. I love the way that card just kind of lit up on screen for me. Here is the Devil. And he's all bound up right there, but he's got this one free arm, and it looks like if he just pulled the rope, it would probably just fall away. Now, this is the Tower card. And I really, really love like the use of the negative space here, because it's almost like what's coming out of this like chaos, what's coming out of this mess, of this destruction, like there's space, right? So it's like we can focus on what caused the chaos, we can focus on the destruction, or we can focus on that space, which is almost like, you know, how that saying, like between a rock and a hard place. That's what I feel like this is, that in-between space where there is potential, you know, to shift your perspective, to grow from all of this. I thought that was really beautiful. And this is the Star. There's a lot of this like geometry going on here. And I just love the way the colors kind of like play in this card. And here's the Moon. And there's the Sun. I love the use of sacred geometry. That's what this kind of reminds me of. I have like some sacred geometry cards that kind of have this same like watercolor, kind of like with this tonality. These would go so well together. Oh, I cannot wait to get my decks. So this is the Judgment card. And the Universe or World. I love like she has roots that are growing, and then there's some lotuses down there, and yeah, that's very beautiful. Okay, then we go into the minor, starting with the Wands, and here is the Ace. There's a lot of power in this card. There's like fire, there's sun, lots of energy. I'm feeling like the lower chakras, and then we have like the Kundalini energy coming up, and the colors of the chakra right there. Like, I like it. Okay, and here's the wand, Two of Wands. I really like this Two of Wands card. There's something, it's almost like, you know, finding focus. And that like intuitive, like the intuitive spark right there. And then there's the Three of Wands. And the Four of Wands. Here's the Five of Wands. This evokes some really strong feelings too. Like, yeah, it does. And there's the Six of Wands, almost like honoring the self. The Seven. And there's the Eight of Wands. Let's see, then we've got the Nine of Wands. And here is the 10. So then we have the Princess of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and then we have the King of Wands. All right, then we go into the Suit of Cups. So we have the Ace of Cups, lots of flow here. I love these beautiful blues. And there's the Two of Cups. That's really nice. There is the Three of Cups. And then we've got the Four of Cups. The Five of Cups. I'm trying to dip in the cards. And then there's the Six of Cups. The Seven. The Eight of Cups. We've got the Nine of Cups. The Ten of Cups. And there is the Princess. The Knight. The Queen. That's so beautiful. And we have the King. Then we go into the swords. So we've got the, if I can get the cards undone. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, the Two, the Three of Swords. Oh, I like that. It's almost like, hey, like this is a warning, stop. And then the Four of Swords. Have the Five of Swords. Oh, the Six, there's a unicorn. Seven of Swords. The Eight of Swords. He is all tangled up in there. That looks very uncomfortable. Then we've got the Nine, like all of those thoughts just swirling around. Look at this Ten of Swords. And there's the Princess of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, and then we get into the Suit of Discs. So the Ace, the Two, the Three. I like that card a lot. the 4, the 5 of discs, the 6, got the 7, the 8, the 9 of discs, the 10. This is so beautiful. And we've got the Princess of discs, the Knight of discs, the Queen of discs, the King, and then there is bonus cards, Gratitude and Invocation, which I really liked both of these cards. Yeah, these are really beautiful additions. I love that color blue, like, oh, so pretty. But this is the New Chapter Tarot. It is absolutely beautiful. I think that the artist did an amazing job creating this deck, and part of the story on how this deck was created was like at the end of a relationship, like going through a crisis, which is how I got into tarot too. So that really inspired me once I kind of heard her story and the journey to creating these cards. And then here they are, accessible to everyone. And that's like one of my dreams, is to create a deck, even if it's not like for mass market, just to go through that process, because I know it will transform how I relate to the cards. So that's something that I would like to do at some point in time. So she does kind of talk about a little bit of the history of tarot, and then kind of talks about her journey. And that's the foreword by Rachel Pollack that kind of goes into the making of the deck a little bit more, and the parallels between like the Thoth deck and like the symbolism and things like that. Which I think it's just really, really beautiful. And I love, like, so in the intro, it says, I didn't start out thinking this would be an actual deck. When I begun working on a version of the Wheel of Fortune, it was a way of processing a very complicated set of feelings. And I love it. Like it says, like, this deck is a story, a journey, a self-portrait of change. And, you know, she kind of identifies some of the cards or characters in the deck as like things that she went through, or, you know, at times where she was being supported through her own life change. And I think that's just amazing to, like, you know, create something beautiful out of something so devastating. So, and then in the guidebook, there are definitions for the cards. It also includes a reverse definition. And yeah, that is it. This deck is really beautiful. Like I said, the only difference, and I don't have, I guess this one might be more of a standard tarot deck size. I'm trying to get the cards out. These might not be standard either, but just so you can see, like, this is a card from the Way Home Tarot, and then this is one from the New Chapter. So see, they're like kind of shorter and wider cards. But honestly, I wasn't sure, like, there was something different with it, and then I realized the size. I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but I mean, I don't have super big hands, and it's not that big a deal. There are oracle decks with different card sizes and shapes and things like that. So yeah, it's like a nice size deck, especially like if you have smaller hands, it's easier to kind of grasp as well. So cardstock is pretty sturdy. It has a lot of bend and flexibility to it. So this deck would, like, I like to do casino shuffle. So for me, that works well. They actually don't bend as much as I thought they would when doing casino shuffle. So probably would stick with overhand kind of shuffling with this deck, which is nice because now that I've shown it to you, I can go ahead and shuffle. So I would probably shuffle these like this because they are together very strong, so I wouldn't casino shuffle these babies because I would probably bend them. And that's not what I want. I don't want to damage the cards. So thank you to Liminal and Liminal 11 and Catherine Briggs for this beautiful, beautiful deck. I am excited to work with it and connect with it. The art on this deck is really beautiful. I love the diverse elements included in the deck, as well as, like, you know, kind of shifting things around with the court cards, because that can trip people up sometimes because we're so used to seeing, like, either, you know, daughter, son, mother, father, or, you know, page, knight, queen, king. So we start to get caught up in, like, the gender roles instead of, like, looking at the energy of it. So I think that's a beautiful and welcome change. Yeah, so thanks again. I will be back with more tarot walkthroughs. I need to get some readings done as well, but I really wanted to, I didn't want to use the decks before I did the walkthrough or anything like that. So part of my deck connection process is I do, like, I'll sit and shuffle the deck for a while until it feels like familiar to me. Because, like, you know, when you get a new deck, it's kind of awkward. You kind of gotta work the cards a little bit. So that's part of my process. I find that shuffling for a reading is a very meditative thing, and sometimes, you know, I'll just sit and just shuffle a deck, just to, like, connect with it, to clear my mind, because, like, why not? Yeah, they fit in my hand very well. It's not hard to shuffle or anything like that. Yeah. So after I shuffle for a while, then I'll probably clear it with either incense, or use, like, Palo Santo or something like that to just kind of waft it through the smoke, clear it, and set an intention with it. And yeah, that would be that. I've already kind of read through the guidebook, so I'm good on that. I did take time to look through that beforehand, since I was like, I need to do a video before I start breaking the deck apart. So yay, I'm so glad that I have the time and opportunity to go through this deck with you. Like I said, it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful to have it as part of my collection. And I can't wait to do, like, a deck interview reading with it to see what energies come out of this deck for me. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you liked about this deck, and I will see you again soon. Peace.